So, dahil yung sense, malaki ang Come na, come na, baby, ready to come na. As long as you ever get me, long time you come back. One night you will take the chocolate tree. Have your hand it. If I lay it up a bit, time to show me it's all. Just trust me. I'm bored of the fire. And I'm thinking it. And I'm doing it. So we don't. Jump up and say, if you feel it, walk out and make it. If you feel it, if you feel it, dance it out. And dance it out. Man, man,
Welcome back to live coverage of the Beach Volleyball Championships here at the 2023 Commonwealth Youth Games. I'm Video Ramphel here at the Colin Beach Sports Arena. Three games coming up this evening here on Court 1. Vanuatu will take on Trinidad and Tobago women. Trinidad and Tobago women knocked out at the round of 16, and they are into the classification phase here. And they come up against the Vanuatu side that will be tough to beat. Later on court 1 at 5:20, Trinidad and Tobago men will come up against Sri Lanka after that stormy exit from the round of 16 for TNT. Gambia due to take on St. Kitts and Nevis at the same time, but that's not going to happen. The Gambia have withdrawn from the competition. 4:30 across on court 2. The Cayman Islands will take on Rwanda. Cayman Islands lost all of their games so far, as have Rwanda. Rwanda, the only of the two to actually take a set in the competition. So that's taking place at 4:30. So three matches on tap here on the courts here at the beach facility in Black Rock, Tobago. I'm Video Ramphel here with the action. We certainly hope that you will join us throughout the afternoon. Vanuatu just about to take on Trinidad and Tobago, and Vanuatu beating Bermuda, losing to Mozambique, and also losing to Scotland, knocked out by the Scots. That's after they went on to win the first set in their match earlier today. So both teams having a tough task, both knocked out of the competition, out of contention for medals. However, for them now, it's just to pick themselves up and play for pride right now here at the Black Rock facility in Tobago. Welcome back to live coverage of the Beach Volleyball Championships here at the 2023 Commonwealth Youth Games live from the Colin Beach Sports Arena. I'm Vidya Rampal with the commentary for this evening, and we have couple of matches to show you between in this very short evening session. Vanuatu versus Trinidad and Tobago women and Sri Lanka versus Trinidad and Tobago men. There is another match on at the time, Cayman Islands versus Rwanda. We'll give you updates on that one as the game goes on. So Trinidad and Tobago, both their teams being knocked out at the round of 16 stage. These are the qualification or classification matches. Both teams, all of the teams involved this evening are no longer able to go on to win a medal. The quarterfinal stage is already set, and we'll share some of that information with you later on today. So right now, it is the teams from Vanuatu and Trinidad and Tobago. Vanuatu, Trinidad and Tobago on the side of the fence, that side of the net that you're looking at right now. Trinidad and Tobago with to the left of your picture, that is LaFay Roberts, and to your right, Mika Johnson. Serving here for Vanuatu is Elena Moole. Stephanie Joel is out there with her. So Trinidad and Tobago in the red and black, and Vanuatu in the green and yellow outfits. Green, yellow, and the black shorts. They're on the side away from you at the moment. And the officials for today from Puerto Rico, Cristina Rexach, and the second referee, Gregory Thompson of Great Britain. Both of these heavily involved in the training of the officials earlier, just before the tournament started. Into the net here from Johnson. And Trinidad and Tobago, not the best of starts here for them already. Trinidad and Tobago still ahead by 2-1 at the moment. That's out. And Trinidad and Tobago losing to Bermuda in their first game. Then going under to Kenya and New Zealand. That's out. Trinidad and Tobago have not won a set in this competition. And so they will be attempting to do something they haven't done in their first 3 games so far. Here is Roberts with the serve. Good one. Testing one for the Vanuatu players. Into the backcourt. That's good work there from Roberts. And picks up another point for Trinidad and Tobago. As for Vanuatu, they beat Bermuda in the opening game, 2-1. That's in. Yeah, misjudgment there by Moole. Vanuatu beat Bermuda 2-1, lost to Mozambique 2-0, and then lost to Scotland in a seesaw game, which they led by a set to nothing. But Scotland really firing back and winning that game 2-1. Scotland into the quarterfinals, and Vanuatu, however, here in the playoff stage. Trinidad and Tobago serving from the other side and pick up another point quickly. So a fast start here for TNT, 6-2 ahead. At into the second changeover here. Didn't get enough on that. And she got just about enough. So Roberts picking up another point for Trinidad and Tobago. The 2 17-year-olds from Lady Hales Avenue in San Fernando, Trinidad. Second city of Trinidad is San Fernando. And all 4 of the Trinidad and Tobago players you're seeing are from the same community as are the coach. How often do you see that? All of these players for TNT have been working together for a long, long time, and from a very young age. Some of them from the age of 5 have been working together with Sean Morrison. So we're here at the Colin Beach Sporting Arena, a name that tells you all about the history of this area. the Colanders from Latvia in Europe, and they would have ruled over Tobago for a long period of time. Tobago invaded 23 times during its history. Curiously, the Spanish, who would have ruled Trinidad and Tobago, never decided to take Tobago, and they missed out. That's a very good serve there by Roberts, and she looks really motivated for this one. They might not go on to win the medal, but this seems very much like their gold medal match, Trinidad and Tobago. They'll put everything into this game. Yeah, they really look fired up here. Sean Morrison, their coach, has a massive smile on his face. This is the type of play that he was hoping to see from his players all the way through this game.
Remember, it's the best of three. The walk-up. Beat sports with the home of volleyball for the
Johnson did well. Unfortunately for Johnson, well, she got that over the net. How did she get that over? That seemed to be a gravity-defying get there by Johnson. Got it over the net, and Vanuatu have no response. 10-2 Trinidad and Tobago lead. Well, that one went over without any help from Trinidad and Tobago. For the moment, everything is going the way of the young ladies in red, white, and black. And for Vanuatu, a net court of their own to give them some assistance here. So 11-3 at the second changeover. But Trinidad and Tobago dominating that phase of the game. Can they now carry that into the next phase of the match? Vanuatu have never medaled at the Commonwealth Youth Games in history. They will be hoping to change that. They have a small squad here for this championship in Trinidad and Tobago.
We have the home team, 11-3.
Not enough on that there, Mool. And that's gotten over. Well, that was a good bit of play there by Joel. And unfortunately, Johnson couldn't finish it off. They had Vanuatu scrambling during that particular point. But Trinidad and Tobago in front here. Very healthy lead, 7 points. Can they carry on? Take the first set. They will win in the tournament. Johnson. Well, that's excellent. Very good there from Johnson. And winning another point for TNT. 12-4 now.
Vanuatu 4.
Into the net, and that's something that Trinidad and Tobago will not want to do too much of. So far, it's 12-5. Many patterns have emerged already. It's been Trinidad and Tobago that have converted half of their attacks so far. Vanuatu yet to get their offense going in this game.
By 2 points. 2 points.
And again, for the second time in a short period here, Johnson not getting that one over the net. It wasn't even close. Hit upper part of the net. Good concentration there by Johnson. Has to get that over and just puts too much on it. So overcompensating this time, Johnson, after 2 balls into the net, has now put that one out. So that has cut the lead to 4 here. Sean Morrison is seeing up. He calls Johnson and Roberts in and is about to have a short talk with them. So Vanuatu striking back here in the third phase of the game. Vanuatu have a very good record in beach volleyball. Back in 2018, Miller Pata and Lin Matuta. They won the beach volleyball bronze medal. That's at the 2018 Commonwealth Games. And in 2022, Sherson, Toko, and Milapata also combined to win another bronze medal. That's last year in Birmingham. So 2 bronze medals for Vanuatu in the beach volleyball competition. Just shows their strength in this particular field. These 2 young ladies, Joel and Mole, trying to continue in that fashion.
Okay, so I got it right now. So when both teams have an accumulated point of 21, so let's say, for instance, one team has 9. Let me do the math squad. I think before I say that on the mic. The next one has 12.
That one goes the way of Vanuatu. Yeah. Lift was the call. And once again, there is another timeout here. So the Vanuatu continuing to reel in Trinidad and Tobago. Trinidad and Tobago leading by 7 points at one point. Now that lead is down to 3. This is what we've seen from Trinidad and Tobago in this tournament. They tend to have these mini collapses all the way through their games, where they lose points in groups very, very quickly. And what are the stats revealing so far? 15 attacks for Trinidad and Tobago, 6 successful, and 1 out of 9 successful attacks for Vanuatu. I think Vanuatu have benefited from 6 opponent errors. For Trinidad and Tobago, only 3. And that's going to be an important stat through this game. TNT have produced some error-strewn performances so far in the competition. Johnson has to get us over and does well. Put Vanuatu in some problems there. Oh, that's a good spike there from the Vanuatu player. And that time it was Moole who hit that well. Roberts was not equal to it that time. Another point going away from Trinidad and Tobago. So Vanuatu on an excellent run here. 6 unanswered so far. Oh my, it's really started to turn here. And it's gone bad for Trinidad and Tobago very quickly. Vanuatu on a 7-1 run at the moment. Well, that's broken with possibly one of a serve that Joel will never want to remember. Oh, that's brilliant. Good stuff there from Roberts, sending that floating jump serve powerfully down the middle. She really couldn't deal with that one. Well, Trinidad and Tobago respond in the best possible way. They've broken that 7-1 run, and they're on the run on their own at the moment. 3 points unanswered here by the TNT. Big Mo is going on the side of TNTO. That's out. Back to a 1-point game here. And another changeover coming your way. And it is Trinidad and Tobago holding on to a 2-point lead. Trinidad and Tobago have never won a medal in beach volleyball at the Commonwealth Youth Games or the Commonwealth Games. TNT have enjoyed some success at these games. First medal for TNT last night. Gold medal for Nikolai Blackman of TNT in the 200-meter freestyle event at the National Aquatic Center. Well, that's gone the way of Vanuatu. Error in the handling of the ball.
I told you, don't count that Vanuatu. You see, they'll close the gap.
Johnson keeps that alive. Johnson again. Moole does well. Now she's going in for the kill. And that's excellent work really disguised that well. Looked as though she was going in for the spike and just poked it over. 15 all right now.
You call me, I call you.
Well, that's in, yes. Good for Johnson, putting TNT back ahead by 1. And Trinidad and Tobago can ill afford allowing Vanuatu to go on a run here because it's the business end of the set. They themselves need to put together a string of points here, Trinidad and Tobago, and get the first set. Good serve from Johnson to start off here. Problems for Vanuatu. Johnson again. And that's good. Very, very good there from Johnson, from Roberts' correction. Just got that over the net, and with the help of the net cord. 17 points to 15. Trinidad and Tobago leads. It is Johnson. Deep breath as she takes the serve. That's going to head out. And for the first time in the tournament, Trinidad and Tobago have produced 18 points. This is the biggest lead they've had throughout this tournament so far. That's a good serve here. Well, gets that over and in. Deft touch once again there from Eleno Mool. They've won a couple of sets in this tournament already, losing to Bermuda 2-1 and a come from behind loss against Scotland. And Johnson with the error again. So Vanuatu, a scream of delight from one of their players as they close the gap to 1 point. Trinidad and Tobago in front by 1. They need 3 points here. Can they carry on and win their first set of the championship? Johnson looking to set it up here for Roberts. Johnson again. Now, can she finish it off? She does. Trinidad and Tobago climb up the hill, and they are just a couple of points away now from their first set in the competition.
By 21.
Johnson does well to reach that one. It's back to Johnson, and Roberts can't keep it in play.
That's 1 point separating the 2-9-18. ETO lead.
This is a very, very tight set. TNT have to be good on defense here. And that is one that they would love to have back, Vanuatu. That has given Trinidad and Tobago the chance to wrap up the set. 3 chances here for TNT to do so.
It's not easy. It's really not.
And that's into the net. And there it is, the first set that Trinidad and Tobago have taken in this tournament. And they have won the first set 21-18. So the team enjoying themselves, and they really look pumped up for the start of this game. Raced out to a 7-point lead, gave it up completely. But the real secret to their victory in this first set, they never allowed Vanuatu to lead at all at any point in this first set. So Trinidad and Tobago closing out the victory in the first set, 21-18. At the other side, that one also, Cayman Islands and Rwanda. Rwanda and the Cayman Islands getting ahead there. So at the break, TNT leads 1-0.
Rwanda happy to take that one. 2-1.
Back for the start of the second set here. Trinidad and Tobago to get us started. Here's Mika Johnson. Well, that's straight back to TNT. Vanuatu unable to control that particular serve. And they've been rewarded, Trinidad and Tobago, with the first point of the second set. Johnson and Roberts will be hoping they can close out victory. It will be a huge encouragement for them. Both were in tears after their opening loss to Bermuda. They really didn't have a good game. Both were very, very nervous during that match and certainly paid the price for it after.
All right. So I have my backup announcer.
Johnson
Good team. Good team.
getting some words of advice from Sean Morrison, the former Trinidad and Tobago player.
Let me try it again.
Roberts does well, and Johnson can't keep that going.
Great.
2-1 for Vanuatu, an early lead for them.
So, TTTO currently trailing 2-1 to Vanuatu. Already taking the first set.
Well, she did really well from that position there, Roberts. The set was certainly more towards her left hand rather than the right, but she did well to adjust her position and still pick up the point.
Rwanda's way 4-3. So what we have here,
Roberts just having to do some adjustment to her glasses. Now she's ready to go once again. 17-year-old out of San Fernando.
All visitors.
And immediately Trinidad and Tobago just give it back to the Vanuatu team.
It's all love in the house in Tobago. Happy to have you all.
That's out.
This man
The other match, Rwanda have taken a first set lead over Cayman Islands. Rwanda winning the first set 21-14. Roberts does well to keep that in play. Johnson, not controlled well by the Vanuatu player, Stephanie Joel, and Trinidad and Tobago have forged back into the lead. So at the changeover, TNT ahead 4-3. Coming up later on, Jarif Miguel and Jerome Morrison of TNT will take on Sri Lanka for the second time in the tournament. And Miguel and Morrison certainly left very distraught after their exit in the round of 16 earlier today. Morrison was in tears after the game. He was inconsolable after that loss. It was really a tough loss for the TNT boys to take. How will that affect them later on today?
Let's make some noise for Team TTO.
Johnson has her work cut out for her here. Does well. That's good.
Keeping it alive.
Oh, that's hammered.
Yep.
Oh, but down the line, unfortunately, couldn't find the back sideline.
And the game.
Just aiming that towards the angle with the back line and the sideline, but just beyond that. Joel with the serve for Vanuatu. Into the net once again.
Cayman Islands on 4. Let's make some noise for
Trinidad and Tobago maintaining their lead here.
Let's also make some noise for Team Rwanda.
That's wrong side of the net there for Joel. 6-4 Trinidad and Tobago. Timeout called by the coach of the Vanuatu team. And we mentioned their 2 bronze medals in the Commonwealth Games for beach volleyball. It certainly is a country that boasts a lot of wonderful beaches. Champagne Beach, Port Orly Beach, Jojo Beach, and Port Resolution is, if I'm pronouncing it right, it is supposedly French. Vanuatu, Trinidad, and Tobago usually find a lot of beach volleyball played at Maracas Bay here in Trinidad. Turtle Beach, which is right across the road from this particular venue, is another place that beach volleyball has been played. Saith Park in Chaguanas also at the home for football. There's a beach court there which has been used. Recently, the Volleyball Federation has made courts at Choco and Los Iros Beach in South Trinidad. So beach volleyball on the move here in TNT and gaining popularity. And certainly the appearance of the four teenagers here will do more for beach volleyball in TNT. That's heading out of play. If anything, Trinidad and Tobago have served a lot more consistently in this match than they had in previous ones. Maybe the pressure off them finally. Now we're seeing a bit more of them. And some luck going the way of TNT. That doesn't hurt at all.
So I just want to send a special shout out to our friends from the Commonwealth Federation. Give them a round of applause. They're my bosses. Thanks for making
And
this
keep that in play, and that is another point for TNT. And once again, just like the first set, they've opened up a 5-point lead here.
Laura and the
And just as you say that, it's knocked straight out of play. Story of the game so far has been the success rate in terms of the attacks. Trinidad and Tobago, 42% success rate for them. For Vanuatu, just 15% at the moment. That's been the difference between the teams. Trinidad and Tobago, 30% success in their serves. Vanuatu, 18%. Two of the metrics that tend to put it in the favor of TNT at the moment.
Vanuatu on 5.
That's out. Trying to go down the middle there, Roberts. Overcooked that one.
I can't see. Was that out? Was that it?
That's out.
And that point goes to teach
Teams are defending from the midcourt. Very few challenges at the net in this second period.
That's a good serve. Cayman Islands keeping it alive.
Down the middle. Vanuatu will have to reset here, and that's out of play. Trinidad and Tobago in double figures for the first time in the second set. And I do believe that's the first time I've seen Mika Johnson smile in the tournament. She actually had a smile as she went to serve there. She's felt the pressure more than any of the TNT supporters and players here in the tournament. Good to see a smile. That they finally gotten that anxiety off their back the moment Trinidad and Tobago, and we're seeing what these girls can, in fact, do.
Rwanda.
Johnson does well here. Roberts into the backcourt, and another point for TNT. The lead up to 7. Good run here for the red, white, and black.
Thank you. I feel it's time for a roll call. Let's try this roll call one more time. Anybody supporting Rwanda, make some noise!
The sequence broken by that error in serve, but it was a pretty good run there for TNT.
And all the supporters.
More relaxed performance here from the home team. That drops in.
What about us?
Yes, it does.
Vanuatu. Vanuatu, make some noise!
The
right. I'm done with
DJ doing a bit of a roll call and finding out who's here. There are actually some Vanuatu supporters here in the crowd. Crowd has been fairly sparse during the morning periods, but in the afternoon, well, especially on that northern side, that's the other side from where you're looking at the moment. That's where most of the crowd are.
Team TTO makes
A lot of support for Trinidad and Tobago here at this one. Trinidad and Tobago known for more for its sportsmen in different sports. Brian Lara in cricket, Dwight York, the former Manchester United in football, and Atta Bolden in athletics are easily the most famous of the athletes to come out of Trinidad and Tobago. TNT have also produced some fine volleyball players. Nolan Tash and Kellyanne Bilinji certainly do come to mind.
All our ladies and young men play. Give them all a round of applause. All the coaches and it's beautiful. So team TTL Kirby 14.
That's in. And Vanuatu pick up another point. So still, Trinidad and Tobago have a sizable lead here. Can they now convert that into a win? A couple of points jumping back across the net to Vanuatu. Still a 5-point lead here for Trinidad and Tobago. An almost eerie similarity to what we saw in the first set. Big lead, and then Vanuatu started to reel Trinidad and Tobago back in. That's over the head of Johnson and in. That one looping over Johnson. Their coach, Sean Morrison, offering some words of advice. Doesn't look any flustered at all in this second game. And that's how to play again. 3 unanswered points here for Vanuatu. And the lead, which was 7 at one point, has now dwindled to 3 here for the home team.
Oh,
that's out again. 4 more points unanswered here from the Vanuatu team. Mole and Joel starting to turn up the pressure here. That's in. Well, another one. And just like we saw, it's almost carbon copy of the first set. Trinidad and Tobago have now seen their 7-point lead shrink to only 1 point. The fans will be hoping that Trinidad and Tobago can do what they did in the first set. At this point, they came back and rattled off 6 points and then went on to take the first set. Will that happen? Or let's see what's going to happen here. Later on, Trinidad and Tobago men take on Sri Lanka men at the other side of the court. Cayman Islands against Rwanda. Rwanda just 3 points from victory in that match. And they've absolutely just hammered the Cayman Islands in the second set. Rwanda leading 18-9 at the moment. Trinidad and Tobago getting to the court belatedly. Vanuatu were actually there already, just waiting for Trinidad and Tobago to get going here. 1-point game. Vanuatu threatening to tie things up here. And there they go. Vanuatu have. And they have been aided and abetted by some rather ordinary play here from Trinidad and Tobago. 14 all at the moment.
Vanuatu.
I know I've remarked on it before, but it's almost exactly what happened in the first set. Trinidad and Tobago losing their 7-point lead. Well, they're back in front now. That's what Vanuatu can ill afford. In this second set, Trinidad and Tobago have had a 27 success rate with their attacks, 15 for Vanuatu. And the service errors are mounting here. In the second set, 6 errors by Trinidad and Tobago, 11 for Vanuatu. It's been a nervous performance from both teams in that respect. That was maybe the easiest of the putaways there. And unfortunately, Johnson not getting enough on that to put it over the net. Vanuatu now in front in the second set. 16 all. Now, if Vanuatu are to tie up this game at 1 set apiece, the nervous energy in this crowd might ramp up here because Trinidad and Tobago may not be feeling the same. Can she keep that in play? She can't. 17-16. The parents of both teams, both players on this Trinidad and Tobago team here. That's brilliant stuff. Straight down the middle. Finally opening some daylight between themselves and Vanuatu once again. That's out. And Trinidad and Tobago and Vanuatu level pegging here in the second set. TNT trying to hold on for victory. Meanwhile, Rwanda have beaten Cayman Islands in their placement match. Rwanda winning 21-14, 21-11. That point given back to Rwanda. 2 touches there, says the official. Double touch. 18 all, second set. Well, that's a very good serve. Problems here for TNT. Into the net. Point to Vanuatu. And that's because I think it is Roberts who just could not stop herself. Vanuatu 2 points away from leveling this match. Johnson does well to reach that one. Work here for Johnson. And again, TNT could tie it up here with a point. And, oh, that's on the wrong side of the net. And that has put Vanuatu a point away from leveling this tie. There it is. 3 mistakes at the end here. And that has presented the set to Vanuatu. 18-21 Trinidad and Tobago go down. And that has gone in a different direction from the first set. TNT fighting back to win the first set and now losing the second set by a similar margin. And here's the story of the second set. 5 out of 19 successful attacks for TNT, just 2 out of 11 for Vanuatu, but they've still managed to hold on, and the number of faults, 6 for Trinidad and Tobago, 4 for Vanuatu, and also you'd look at that and you think Trinidad and Tobago has won this set, but a string of errors at the end here has given Vanuatu the win in the second set. So we go to a decider here. It is tied at 1-1, and the motivation certainly will be with the team from Micronesia.
So we're off to number 3. TTO against Vanuatu.
Cause when I fuck, the world seems down.
Here's the start of the third set. Vanuatu to get us going.
I'm singing to you.
That's out. And wondering about the psychology of these 2 Trinidad and Tobago players. A setup and leading by 7 points midway through the second set. Find themselves a set apiece here and into a decider. Was that heading out? Well, Roberts thought it was staying in and decided to get that right hand across. Unfortunately, it didn't keep it in play. Well, there's a bit of a discussion going on as to who should be serving. Second referee, Gregory Thompson, just straightening that out. It is Joel to serve. And Johnson touching the net. So point once again to Vanuatu. And the errors have started to mount here for the Trinidad and Tobago team late in the second set and early here in the third. Two all in the final set. Good serve. That's where they've gotten a lot of cheap points here, Trinidad and Tobago, from the serve. 32% service success for TNT, 12 for Vanuatu. That's come mainly through the serving of LeFay Johnson. LeFay Roberts, correction. Mika Johnson has done her part in this game. It's been a good combination for TNT. Unfortunately, they just lost the plot a little bit at the end of the second set. That's gone over, and a point there for Vanuatu. Sean Morrison, who you might be seeing on the left side of your picture there, loves to see his alternate careers as a photographer. You might see him with a camera in his hands. That's what he's doing. Roberts keeps this alive. Johnson has some work here. Brilliant work by Johnson to keep that alive for TNT. And that was a point really won by great teamwork between Johnson and Roberts. They did well to keep that alive. Not sure if Morrison got that on the camera, though. Into the net again. So, a little bit of daylight between the two teams here. Can Trinidad and Tobago make this work for them in this third set? Timeout called by Vanuatu, who had motivation on their side. Now it's swung back towards Trinidad and Tobago in this seesaw contest here late in the afternoon on day 3 of the Beach Volleyball Championships 2023 Commonwealth Youth Games. We're here at the Corland Beach Sports Arena, which was opened 5 days ago here on the eve of the Commonwealth Youth Games. This facility, which has been described as the best facility in the Western Hemisphere, at least by the folks here in Tobago, and who will argue against them? It really is a magnificent facility, and according to what we've heard here in Tobago, it took 40 days and 40 nights to build and complete. Into the net again from Johnson. Ball back with Vanuatu here. Nervous moments for both teams. And the error ratio starting to pile up again for Trinidad and Tobago. 5 all at the moment. It might be late in the afternoon here in Tobago, but you'd never tell that it's not noon. It's still very, very hot here in Tobago, despite the fact that we're less than 100 meters away from the beach. Shouldn't it be cooler here? That's well done by Vanuatu, and they have a lead finally in this third set. It has been very hot. A couple of the teams taking medical timeouts earlier today. That's out. Both Rwanda and Bermuda taking medical timeouts here on court 1 before Rwanda went on to beat Bermuda in, Bermuda went on to beat Rwanda in straight sets. Kept in play by Johnson. That's in. So Trinidad and Tobago They know that the finish line is fast approaching. Which team will get there first? And again, the errors starting to haunt Trinidad and Tobago at the end of the match. We've seen this all the way through the tournament. They just seem to tighten up at the end here of matches and give away a lot of free points. That's better. Cool stuff there from Johnson with the help of the net cord. Vanuatu want to talk things over. 8-7 they lead in the decider. Back here with the action in the third set. That's kept in play there well by Johnson, putting a body on the line. Problems here for Vanuatu. TNT threatening to level. That's out. Unfortunately, the wrong side of the line there for Johnson.
All right, back to it. What's going on? What's going on?
Point there for Trinidad and Tobago. Well, still little to choose between two teams here. 8-9. TNT threatening to level now. Johnson does well to get that one. That's a point for TNT. Well, good work here from the girls in red, white, and black. And the San Fernandians looking to get their first win of the competition. It's 9-all. Make that 10-9. Help from the net core. TNT, the first of the two teams to get to double figures. Can she keep that in play? They have their work cut out for them here, Vanuatu. TNT, can they take advantage? Oh, Roberts straight into the net. Vanuatu were on the back foot. Maybe the spike was the wrong option there, but it's level once again at 10-all. The teams will talk things over. Problems there for TNT. They've sorted it out. Can they keep it alive? Well, point to Vanuatu. It looked like Roberts just got a touch onto the underside of the net. And once again, the team from Micronesia are ahead by 1 point. Here's the changeover. Vanuatu coach there congratulating her charges for winning that point and staying ahead. And immediately, what she does at every changeover, she brings her players to the sidelines. You might be seeing it just on the right side of your picture. And she also has an umbrella which she unfurls and puts it over the heads of her players, just to save those extra bits of energy that could be useful in this final set. Sean Morrison seated and talking it over with his team. These are the moments when you really earn your money as a coach, getting the right words across to your players to motivate them to go on a run and seal victory. Vanuatu 11-10 ahead. They have the serve. Johnson does well 2 times so far in this rally. And that's in. Johnson ties it up here for Trinidad and Tobago. 12 of the 39 attacks Johnson has put together in this game so far. 16 points. Trinidad and Tobago with the serve. It is in the hands of Mika Johnson. A serve here can put Trinidad and Tobago ahead in this final set. 11 all. Second referee just making sure all is correct. That's Gregory Thompson from Great Britain. Of course, in Commonwealth terms, there is no Great Britain, but in terms of the referees, there is. Christina Rexach in charge of this match. She's from Puerto Rico. Trinidad and Tobago into the net. That is exactly what they didn't want at this point. And at this back end, where we've seen TNT give away so many points in the late stages of games, perhaps the floating serve may have been the better option at this point. Just get it in play. Well, an error of their own here from Vanuatu. 12 all. Pressure's getting to everyone. The crowd very, very silent at the moment. Sean Morrison talked about that. These are the moments you want the crowd to be roaring your name if you're playing at home. And a very, very good bit of work there by Vanuatu. That is Eleno Moole, who wins that point and puts Vanuatu 2 points away from victory. TNT players caught on their heels there. And certainly hope you've enjoyed the action here at Blackrock in Tobago. If you have the chance to come to Tobago, there's a lot you can do here outside of beach volleyball. But this one is on a knife's edge at the moment. Roberts gets that one going. Has to turn it over here to Vanuatu. They've played themselves into some problems here. Chance here for TNT to draw level. Just getting it over the net, Johnson. And they're level at 13. Good defense shown by TNT. Solid defending during that bit of play. Now it's all about offense now. Can Roberts keep that in play? No, she can't. And that is match point now for Vanuatu. They're ahead by 1. No room for error now. No room for error at this point. Vanuatu a point away from the win. Roberts keeps it in play. Johnson, Roberts. They have to get it right here. It's all about defense now. That creeps over the net. And there's a touch on the net there. And point for Trinidad and Tobago. Vanuatu thought they'd won it. It's 14 all. Real drama here in the late stages of this game. That's out. Oh, second match point here for Vanuatu. Can they close it up here? Can the TNT team hold firm? Johnson has to get this over. It's just over the net. Wow. For a moment, it looked like that one was going to stay on the TNT side. It creeps over and has tied this game at 15 all. So Vanuatu have squandered 2 match points already. Trinidad and Tobago a chance of earning their first with this play.
qualifier match.
Can they keep it in play? Vanuatu, that's going to head wide. And that's the first match point for Trinidad and Tobago. First time in the tournament in 4 attempts, they've gotten to match point. Can they close it out now? Robertson Johnson. There's the serve. That's kept in play. And that's into the net. Trinidad and Tobago have beaten Vanuatu here with a 17-15 victory in the third set. Celebration for Trinidad and Tobago. Desolation for Vanuatu. But what a match it's been here. Neither team will go on into the medal round, but something for the home team to cheer about here. TNT winning by 2-1. And here's the story of the third set correction. Trinidad and Tobago, 6 out of 28 successful attacks for Vanuatu, 4 out of 22. 4 faults for Trinidad and Tobago in that final set. And here is confirmation of a result, the result that will be celebrated by volleyball fans around the country. TNT winning the match against Vanuatu 21-18, 18-21, 17-15. Congratulations to Trinidad and Tobago, and we'll see Vanuatu in one of the playoff matches coming up. In the meantime, also, Rwanda have gone past Cayman Islands in straight sets. The only match remaining in today's play will involve Trinidad and Tobago men against Sri Lanka men, and that's coming up at 5:20 p.m. here at the beach facility in Black Rock, Tobago. Join us for that match coming up later.
So I can write my name among the greatest of the great. Oh yeah, I've worked so hard, get me to chant my name. That's when we will see just how champions are made.
No, no, it's big. Or it's like, you ready for the news? What do you want, the good news? The bad news? Which one first?
Not true.
Whoa, the good news
What's
first?
right?
The bad news first?
There's a champion.
Who said I want the good news first?
You
You want to end the bad news? Man,
what I see.
alright, so good news.
One day we start to meet.
Evening will be over.
There's a champion.
Congratulations.
You
That's not good news?
news.
Oh, I love you so much. I love this crowd. I love y'all. All right, so that's not the good one. Let's start with the bad news. The bad news is that match, two matches that we're looking forward to, we only have one, which St. Kitts and Nevis still won by default to a no-show by Gambia. So St. Kitts has the win. We got the good news is that bad news. Because we were looking for one thing working. That's right. That's right. Um, we can now focus on short match. Attention, actor and team. Oh, that's right. Make some noise for Sri Lanka. Go for us. Show me if you know that's the thing. Give it up the cherry all day. And tell me if you like the white with the nice on the go back. You know why? I could get won't let it party. Won't let it be back. So I get it for some bomb. I'm ready for some bomb. Let's get ready for some bomb. Won't let it pass. Thank you so very much. Thank you very much. I'm ready. You called me. I called you. I can do it. I'm ready for the president of the young so rescue. And question. Ready to win the world. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. Tell me if you know. Tell me if you know. Like Jim Youngster. Okay, so you know what? We're down to one match. Tell me if you run one match of our own. Okay?
Up like a knife, green in abundance, real.
Anybody was there over the last 2
Want
weeks?
to know where we
If
come?
you were here watching volleyball over the last 2 weeks, make some noise.
If you're willing to have some fun,
Right.
I could keep
So
you
you know how we're gonna do this, right?
going.
We're gonna have a volleyball match
Right,
to stand.
squeeze that tight, make it just
Who's gonna serve first?
past your kind.
Right
Miss Joy,
or left?
you see it from
Who's gonna serve? Left.
right, fancy it from
All right.
yeah.
So the right people
Yeah,
in the left stand.
yeah.
So how we're gonna do it. We have a competition. Let me come across my people. You see me?
And
You see me? Give me a wave. Right?
mm,
You know how you do it.
give me the eye that's sweet. Hold them right,
Two.
coconut jelly,
You make
peas
the
and
most
rye, oats and lamb, I'm sharp like a knife.
stands
Easing
with
up
the
the
most
real
noise. Win.
yeah. You want
But
to
you have to make it so loud.
see them do it for
From
me.
here. I'm gonna
If you're willing to do it, I can keep you up on
do
it.
it. Right? It's volleyball. Ready?
Right, man.
We're gonna get a warm up.
That I make it
On three. Okay? A warm up.
that's your kind.
Let's try it.
Destroy
So on three, I want you to make the most noise possible. All right?
Right,
My folks to the left side of the stand. One,
it's been a while. Yeah.
two,
Oh, yeah.
three.
Since we've been back, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So that's the warm-up set.
Baby, let's
So my friend,
right.
right side of the stand.
Real thing.
Here. I'm nice. 1, 3. One,
You got that one, baby.
2,
That always one.
3.
Pull it. Y'all know you look so fine, naturally. Real
Now
vibe.
that's a powerful return. We're gonna better that, all right?
What
The game is about to stop.
all and nice. All things that took peace on my mind. Hold that thing and we take flight. Trees in abundance, see all around me, yeah. So let me jump in the heart and love. All I be is family, yeah. It's all along and you don't girl, you know that this is the
Right?
season.
So we're gonna start it now. Let's get it quickly.
Nothing
My
sweet,
people in the
girl, you know.
stands.
Go
Make
take
some
some
noise.
Hey, go
1, 2.
get right.
2. Your legs up. Right. We're gonna have a return.
Yeah.
From the right side of the stands. So the right side of the stands, let's return. 1, 2. 1, 2. Legs up.
You got it right. Real things start.
All right, it's a draw.
Right.
So we're going into overtime, and we're going to come back. Okay, it's a draw. It's a draw, right? It's a draw. The official said it's a draw. In the meantime, let's prepare for Team Sri Lanka and Team TTO. Give both teams a round of applause, a lusty round of applause. All right, you take your water break, and we're going to come back into overtime. We have a match.
Yeah. Jump there right there. Jump there. Let me do it. Let me do it. Show you the bottom road. He doesn't help. I want to do this together. I shot him in tomorrow.
Welcome back to action here at Blackrock in Tobago, the Colin Beach Sports Arena, Day 3 of the Beach Volleyball Championships here at the 2023 Commonwealth Youth Games. Coming up to the end of play on Day 3, quarterfinals tomorrow. These are the playoff matches here. Trinidad and Tobago pairing of Sharif Miguel and Jerome Morrison taking on Vanuatu Hawarije and the Oliver Warner Kulasuria of Sri Lanka here for this one. These teams would have met already in the competition, Trinidad and Tobago winning that match in straight sets. So Trinidad and Tobago hoping to get only their second victory since that win over Sri Lanka. They've lost to Cyprus and Rwanda 2-1. We'll get to that in a moment. Right now you're watching some of the warm-up on the previous court. Apologies for the slight delay in joining the match.
Okay? So we're here to the with one feet. So we're going to make some this is the last match between ladies and gentlemen. It's the last match of the evening. Left side of the stands, like the boys, the volleyball.
Early stages of the match here between Trinidad and Tobago and Sri Lanka. Trinidad and Tobago beating Sri Lanka in their first game, looking for their second win of the competition. Whoa, that was out. Good judgment shown there by Hawarije, Vanuatu Hawarije, the 17-year-old, allowing that one to go over his head. I don't think he wanted any part of that. That was really firmly hit by Sharif Miguel. Straight into the net. Sri Lanka leading 3-2 at the moment. Well, they're going to go down the middle, I'm sure, here. At least there was an attempt to. But that's off the hands of Miguel. And that is the fourth point here for the Sri Lankans. Sri Lanka losing to TNT 0-2, also losing to Cyprus by a similar margin and England earlier today. Just couldn't get that one over. Morrison, for a small man, really has an outstanding vertical leap. He's able to spike that ball over the net despite his very small stature. He's barely reaching the shoulders of Jarif Miguel. Both of them, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, from the Lady Hales Avenue part of San Fernando. And a remarkable story. All four players and the coach from the same area. 6-2 ahead now for Sri Lanka. And Sri Lanka were pretty tough opponents in the first game. They tended to go down the line a lot in that opening game with their spiking, and that's TNT were able to deal with that pretty easily. They became fairly predictable after a while. In fact, one of the Trinidad and Tobago players was saying that he thought that they should have gone cross-court with those cut shots a bit more. Just a bit too much sand on the line. That's excellent. Going down the line again. And Jarif just gambling with that one going cross-court and just gave up enough space there for Warner Kulasuria to get that one in. Off the hands of the TNT player and out. So a great start here for Sri Lanka. They've now opened up a 5-point lead.
Water bottle, we found it in the men's washroom. So if anyone,
Point for Trinidad and Tobago. The linesman flagging here. That was out, according to what was said by the referee. Well, couldn't keep that one in play. And this bright start for the Sri Lankans continues here. Just getting some clarification from the Sri Lankan players, deciding they needed to find out what that was about.
Yeah, who's watching it? That's right. Let me see who we have in the house. Some of my friend from Australia is here. My homie from down under. All right, Team TTO, Sri Lanka leading 9.
Another good bit of play there. Not a lot for the crowd to get excited about here so far in Trinidad and Tobago's game, but it's the Sri Lankans ahead 9-5. Sri Lanka produced so many outstanding players on the international scene, especially in cricket. The likes of Sanat Jayasuriya and Kumar Sangakkara certainly come to mind.
Don't know where I came from.
That's cross-court. Good bit of work there. And at that time, the work done there by Hawarije, knocking that one across the court and winning the point.
This is a high-flying match. This is a high-flying match. Sri Lanka has it up.
That's going to be out. And the point for Sri Lanka. Looks like there was some interference at the net. Sri Lanka have had some success at the Olympic level. Duncan White winning a 400-meter medal back in the 1940s. and also Susan Tika Jayasinghe, 200 meters silver medalist back in the women's 200 meters. That was a huge moment for Sri Lanka in modern history. Well, two huge moments, I should say. 12-5 for the Sri Lankans ahead at the break here, and they're looking the much happier of the two countries at the moment. And double duty here for Sean Morrison. Just finished a very emotional match coaching Trinidad and Tobago to victory over Vanuatu, the women's team recording their first win. And the women's team are out here to support the Trinidad and Tobago men's team. LaFay Roberts urging on the TNT team at the moment.
I see we have our Secretary of Sport. He's still with us. Mr. Wade Clark. One of the men responsible for this facility being built here. He's been passing.
That's down the line and out. So in situations like that, that's the second time, and they've gone down the line once again. Now they go cross court, and that's slammed into the court. Found the angle. That was Warner Kulasuria. Oliver Warner Kulasuria, 18-year-old.
The home of volleyball, Commonwealth, Bingo 2023. Here in beautiful Blackrock. The sun is set. We're putting some shade. And Sri Lanka putting action. Now let's Bingo keep it.
He did very well to get that one. A good get there from Sharif Miguel and Trinidad and Tobago by dint of pure effort. They're getting that point, but still a lot for them to do in this first set.
I'm stuck. From Malta. Malta in the house. Welcome to Tobago.
Another point for Trinidad and Tobago. The deficit is now 5, and that's the break here. The technical timeout. Sean Morrison offering some water to his chargers, and maybe the timeout coming at just the wrong moment here for TNT as they've started to build up ahead of steam. Late afternoon here in Tobago. The court now completely shaded by the large trees that separates the facility here from Turtle Beach here in Tobago. I dare say that some members of our crew are heading across to Turtle Beach after to have a bit of a swim. I know our technical director is certainly going to go there. Here's Sharif Miguel to start off play here. The 18-year-old. He has to head to the other end here as the Sri Lankans now occupying the near side of the court. This is on the southern side of the court here at Blackrock in Tobago. Here's Miguel with the serve. Into the net to start off. That's not the start they wanted, Trinidad and Tobago, as Sri Lanka 6 points ahead in this first set. Another point here for Sri Lanka. Well, these two young men, the height that they have, they could have easily found their way into one of the outstanding cricket clubs in Sri Lanka, likes of nondescripts or to the Colombo clubs. But they've chosen volleyball as their pathway into international sports. Very good work there by Morrison. And if you've never seen him play before, look at that spring, that vertical leap from him. Absolutely awesome player. In a game that values height and athleticism, doesn't have the height, but he has oodles of athleticism. Oh, there's some athleticism there from Hawarije, letting them know. Remember the name Manuja.
I'm get off of maybe.
Warner Kulasuriya with the serve for Sri Lanka. Down the line and out. And Sri Lanka giving up the point here. 6 still comfortably ahead. Several Trinidad and Tobago sporting heroes here. Kimika Forbes, the national footballer. Oh, that one swerved on him there. And they still get the point. That's good work there from the Sri Lankans. Didn't quite control it well, Hawarije, but it was the set from Warner Kulasuriya that set up that point for them. They're 7 ahead now. Warner Kulasuriya and Hawarije are about the height of a Chaminda Vass, who would have opened bowling for Sri Lanka in cricket. Another error from Trinidad and Tobago, and Sri Lanka looking good for the first set here. 8 points ahead, and more errors from Trinidad and Tobago. They're looking a bit flat here. And really, when you look at what happened with them earlier today, a very tough loss against Rwanda after fighting back to win the second set. They were overtaken by Rwanda in the third set and lost out. There was a highly contentious point which resulted in a yellow card, I believe, for the coach of Trinidad and Tobago, Sean Morrison. And in an interview afterwards, he talked about inconsistent refereeing from the officials here today. That's out. And Sri Lanka 2 points away from a first set. This will actually be the first set they've won in the championship so far. They've been shut out in all 3 of their games. Good start from them. Wow. Another point for Sri Lanka, and they are 10 points ahead, and they're just 1 point away from taking the first set. And rather flat start here from Morrison and Miguel, but they'll be looking to redeem themselves perhaps in the second set. Sri Lanka set point for them. And just a hold up there as the second referee was not quite ready. That's out. Just to remind you, the officials for today's game, Julian Serafine and Keem Shallery. These two have worked together. The man from Dominica and the man from St. Lucia. 2 of the most beautiful islands in the Caribbean. Success of Sri Lanka in the second set has been their successful attacks. 10 of 21 they've turned over. As for Trinidad and Tobago, just 4 of 20 so far. Sri Lanka also having 1 successful block. Trinidad and Tobago 8 opponent errors. Sri Lanka 7. That's why it is the Sri Lankans from the land formerly known as Ceylon that are leading at the moment. I'm sure there will be a fair amount of joy in Colombo if they can close out this first set. 19-12 they lead. Still there's a huge discussion here on what's going on. And they're just making sure that they know exactly who has to serve and what position they're in. That's still going on at the moment. Quarterfinals coming up tomorrow in the event. And that certainly will be It's a big day tomorrow. Here's Sharif Miguel with the serve. Did that get the touch? Yes, he did. And that is the first set. Has been decided. Sri Lanka. Well, no. In fact, I thought that one had come off last contact for Trinidad and Tobago. But it was Sri Lanka with the last touch. And 2018. Good get there from Sri Lanka. And an equally good one there from Trinidad and Tobago. That's out. Still alive in the first set. But 7 points adrift. Morrison has to get this right. TNT have to keep up the pressure here. Excellent block there from Miguel. Rising high. Guessing right. He was going down the line. And that was Warner Kulasuria stopped in his tracks. Still, third set point here for Sri Lanka. And that's into the net. And there it is. That is the first set for Sri Lanka. They've taken the first set 21-14. So Hawarije and Warner Kulasuria take the first set 2014. And certainly Miguel and Morrison, after that tough loss in the quarterfinals, looking a bit deflated here. This is the time when Sean Morrison, their coach, has to pick things up for them. Second set action coming your way shortly here at Blackrock in Tobago. Second set action about to begin here between Trinidad and Tobago and Sri Lanka. TNT need to find a way back into this game. They beat Sri Lanka 2-0 in their first encounter, but Sri Lanka looking a lot better in this match. They're searching for their first win in this competition. Hawarije is the one with number 2 on his back. He is at the net for Sri Lanka. It's good work there from Miguel. And every point that Trinidad and Tobago win, there's a huge roar that goes up just behind our position here. Most of the TNT supporters behind the team, literally. And if your effects mic are picking up the screaming, that's Brent Elder, the physio of the Trinidad and Tobago team. It's not just the videos. He just puts everything in. That's out. Hawarije with the block, but unfortunately that one beyond the line for him. Good work there by Morrison. Just bundled that one over the net. He might be the smallest man on the court, but don't mistake that for the lack of effort. He is really an amazing young player. That one gets over the net. Miguel, that's in. Just getting the line. And the silence that follows the winning of that point tells you it is Sri Lanka that take it. Sri Lanka has to serve. TTO up with it. Great block. Oh, the line. TTO keeping the line. Well, that's out. Was there a touch on the net? There was. Well, Jerome Morrison was thinking about having a word with the referee, but then deciding he's not going to do that. Actually, he had a running battle with Julian Serafine and Kiem Shallery in their earlier game, their quarterfinal loss. So doesn't want to tangle with the referee in this one. Into the net again. Mistakes for Trinidad and Tobago, still not looking quite as good as they did against Rwanda when they were ruling the roost in the second set. Well, he put up the block, just couldn't keep it on the court. It's Miguel with the serve. That's out. It's a bit too long, too much on that. And he's serving with the wind to his back. Not much of a strong wind as we had earlier, but enough. Into the net. Sri Lanka not following up the win in that point with another one. Not a great bit of serving there from Sri Lanka. Excellent get there from Morrison. Oh, that's a good bit of play. Brilliant stuff there from Howard Rije. Boy, does he have a vertical leap of his own. Using his full physicality to great effect there. That's in. Good bit of work by Morrison again. Howard Rije wearing a New York hat on his head. That's how we can distinguish him when he's a distance away. Oh, it's a good bit of play. Morrison does well here. And Morrison again wins the point. Two great bits of plays there by the youngster Jerome Morrison, keeping Trinidad and Tobago in the second set. 7-all at the break. Jerome Morrison, the nephew of Sean Morrison, sister's son, he tells me. And it is going to be Sharif Miguel, 18 years old, out of San Fernando in Trinidad. That's off the hands of Morrison and out. Both young men from San Fernando, as I mentioned, and Southern City in Trinidad, the larger of the two islands here in the Caribbean, Trinidad and Tobago. That's out. And the city named after the infant son of one of the kings of Spain, all the way back in the 1500s, I believe. That's out. Sean Morrison seeing the funny side of that particular bit of play. Oh, that's great work there from Morrison. Just getting it over the net. Just poking it over just enough on that to slip over the net cord and onto the sand here at the Black Rock facility. That's 3 points in a row that Trinidad and Tobago have given away from service errors. That's out. So the Sri Lankans now 2 points ahead, 11-9. And after the last concession of the point by Trinidad and Tobago, Sean Morrison turned on his Spanish skills. Sean Morrison, after the point, said, Dios mío. And he was actually speaking in Spanish to his charges. I'm not sure if they understood exactly what he was saying, but It's one of his idiosyncrasies. He turns on the Spanish every now and again when he tries to get his point across. Our two graphics men from Spain, they understood him perfectly. So 1-0 ahead here, Sri Lanka, 21-14 in the first set so far. Story of the game has been the number of successful attacks. Sri Lanka 15 from 34, Trinidad and Tobago 10 from 37. 45% success rate for Sri Lanka, 28% for Trinidad and Tobago. Sri Lanka have also had a 7% success in their service game, and they have blocked successfully 2 out of 5 times. So the stats trending towards the Sri Lankan team at the moment. Miguel can't keep that in play.
Oh, special my friend, the bar and steak.
2-point lead here for the Sri Lankans, looking to close out TNT in 2 sets. Oh, Morrison showing his vertical leap again. Trinidad and Tobago playing in the white shirts today, and a rather colorful beach shorts here. I'm sure that's the choice of the coach. Captain play here. Morrison has to turn this one over. That's out of play. So all of a sudden, the Sri Lankan lead has disappeared. It's 12-all in the second set. TNT trying to take this one to a decider. Into the net. And this time looking to go cross court. Missed it by a long way. Dumping that one into the top portion of the net. There, Hawarije. That's in. Very good play down the line here by Warner Kulasuria. Good bit of play there again. Is that in? No, that's just out. Just missing the sideline there. Hawarije. Crowd urging on Trinidad and Tobago, who are now leading for the first time in the second set. Warner Kulasuria doing enough there to win the point. Back for his team, 14-all in the second set here. And Trinidad and Tobago battling back in that phase of the game. Much better performance. They're now starting to catch fire here at TNT. At least they're starting to look a little bit more warm. They were very flat in the first set and a little bit flat in the early part of the second set. That's out. And with the increased pressure, the error ratio has started to ramp up here for the Sri Lankans. That's in. Yeah, both teams have committed quite a few errors. 15 for Sri Lanka, 17 for Trinidad and Tobago so far. There was some authority in that. And he does the lawnmower after celebrating with that successful spike hit with some authority. And they've returned it with interest here, the Sri Lankans. Warner Kulasuria showing he can do it too. That's out. Good bit of work there shown by Morrison, and TNT edge ahead here once again. 17-16. Very little daylight between the teams. Brilliant block. And finally, a 2-point lead for TNT in the second set. Now, can they convert this small lead into a win here in the second set? Sri Lanka call a timeout, and Trinidad and Tobago looking a lot better in the latter part of the second set. Sean Morrison must be a bit happier what he's seen from his two charges. He's a seasoned hand himself, Sean Morrison, at international level, and I'm sure he knows that his team's still feeling the hurt of that elimination in the quarterfinals at the hands of Rwanda earlier today. That is, you'll hear more about that, I'm sure, and read more about it in the press, because Morrison gave a rather explosive interview at the end of it and blamed the defeat on inconsistent refereeing. Of course, that may have been a bit of emotion from the coach afterwards. That's too long. That's the fourth error they've had in the second set from serving. And the service faults, 8 for Trinidad and Tobago, 7 for Trinidad and Tobago, correction, 8 for Sri Lanka. More errors for TNT from the service line, 5 of them in all. That is last touch by Trinidad and Tobago, and the game is now tied once again. Well, I think the neutrals here would want to see an extra set. Certainly Trinidad and Tobago would want to see another set themselves. Both teams 3 points away from victory here. And Miguel does brilliantly. They've kept it alive and just rather timid with that effort and punished for it. Should have done a bit more when the ball was given back to them. But now Sri Lanka have made the most of it. They lead 19-18. Off the net. Still alive here for Sri Lanka. Morrison gets that one back. Oh, Sri Lanka in some trouble here. They can't get it over. And it's 19 all. Well, that was great scrambling there from Hamarije and Wanakulasuria, but Trinidad and Tobago stronger on that point. That could have been pivotal. That could have been match point for Sri Lanka. Morrison gets there, but not enough on it. And that has put Sri Lanka in position to get their first match point. First match point for Sri Lanka. Trinidad and Tobago. Well, Morrison just clearing some sand out of the eyes of his young nephew, 18 or rather 17-year-old Jerome Morrison. Match point for Sri Lanka. And that has been erased with some aplomb here by Trinidad and Tobago's Sharif Miguel. Morrison does well to track this down. Has to turn it over here to Sri Lanka. And again, Morrison tracks it down. Can he put it away? They'll have to reset here, Sri Lanka. Let's see what Morrison can do. Gives it back to Sri Lanka. They have the chance now. Into the net. And TNT have a set point. Set point for Trinidad and Tobago. They can tie it up here and force a decider. Into the net. Oh, exactly at the moment. That's the last thing they wanted. The 8th service fault for Trinidad and Tobago and the 6th in this set, I believe. Not they wanted 6 service faults for Trinidad and Tobago in this second set. And that might be the most costly of them all. 21 all in the second set. And going back to that comment from Sean Morrison, Dios mío indeed. Kept in play. Miguel again. Oh, that's wonderful from TNT. Still with the Sri Lankans. Morrison there. And that's in. Second set point for TNT. That was great hustle from the men from San Fernando. Sri Lanka played their part in that point, but TNT just doing enough to get to a second set point. Morrison with the serve. The crowd are in it now. And that's in. Nerves of steel there from Hawarije with the deftest of touches into the open court. They're going to have to turn the lights on for this one, I'm sure. We're going late here in Blackrock. Is that going to drop in? Yes, it does. Third set point for TNT. Sri Lanka had a match point earlier. Now TNT threatening to take this to the third. Kept that one in. Oh, what a shot of authority there. That was Hawarije hammering that one down. 23 all, and a third set point wiped away by Sri Lanka. Down the line, they've kept it alive here. That's out. Yes, it is. Well, this one has been a seesaw battle. Fourth set point here for TNT. Can they close it out? Wana Kulasurya coming to the rescue of his team. Fading light here at Blackrock. Sri Lanka still alive in this with a chance of winning the game. Morrison does well, picks it up. Now has to recover. Back with Sri Lanka. Oh, there it is. Sri Lanka guiding that one home. They now have a second match point. After 4 set points for Trinidad and Tobago, it is Sri Lanka that carve open a second match point here. Hawarije and Wana Kulasurya looking to close off the game. The crowd were just starting to get in it. It's now silent once again. Morrison just getting down to keep that one in. Down the line and in. Second match point wiped away. Boy, this has been exciting stuff here. You almost don't want it to end. Oh, that's a brilliant serve. Fifth set point for Trinidad and Tobago. 26-25. This is the longest set we've had in the tournament. That's how close it's been. 51 points in this second set, and still we don't have a winner. That's a good serve. Sri Lanka under pressure here. Chance here for Trinidad and Tobago. It's all in the hands. Oh, he's put that wide. Oh, no. It was there, set up for him there, Miguel. And unfortunately, banging that one wide. If Trinidad and Tobago lose this match in this set, they'll look back at those 5 match points wasted. Set points wasted, correction. Down the line, and that's landed. So, the crowd silence once again. Third match point here for Sri Lanka. They won the first set 21-14, and now it's 27-26 in the second set. Can they close it out? Third time of asking. Morrison! And Wanda Surya wins it for Sri Lanka. Down the line, hits the court, and Sri Lanka celebrate victory 28-26. And they have taken the second set and the match by 2-0. Another tough loss here for Trinidad and Tobago, going down in straight sets to Sri Lanka. And here's how it went in this last set, the second set. Trinidad and Tobago, 12 of their 34 attacks successful, but for Sri Lanka, 16 of 35. That proved to be the difference. Two excellent digs. And also, you have to really look at the service errors for Trinidad and Tobago. There were 8 in the match, and in this second set, 6 service errors for Trinidad and Tobago, and that's where this match has been decided. So here is the result of the match. Sri Lanka winning by 2-0, 21-14, 28-26. Tomorrow it's quarterfinal action here in Blackrock, Tobago. And Trinidad and Tobago out of the quarterfinals picture, unfortunately, on both the men's side and the women's side. But the 2 gold medalists from the last time round, England also still in the picture, as are Australia. So that's where we leave you with our coverage here today. Unfortunately, a defeat for Trinidad and Tobago's men in the final game, TNT Women winning their last match in this side of the draw, and they have won it 17-15. We want to thank you for joining us here for our coverage of beach volleyball on day 3 of the Commonwealth Youth Games here in Tobago. Join us tomorrow. There'll be more action tomorrow here at Blackrock in Tobago. And don't forget, action starts very early in the morning. Action actually starts at 9 o'clock. And there's the first women's quarterfinal with Bermuda taking on Canada on court on match 2 here today. And in match number 1, it's going to be Kenya versus England. Hope that you'll join us for that. Thanks for joining us on behalf of the hardworking crew